What's up, everybody? Chivas Femenil off to the playoffs. See you soon. Good afternoon, Mr. and Mrs. Latino America, and all you Chiva hermanos and Chiva hermanas around the globe. All you mothers and misters, Chiva brothers and sisters. Welcome to We Go Chew Live. We are transmitting directly from the Perla Tapatía, home to the most glorious of teams, el Club Deportivo Guadalajara. Bienvenidos todos a We Go Chew Live. How are you guys, everybody out there? Yes, we're going to talk about Chivas Femenil and their closing in the playoffs. But first, let me introduce my co-hosts, Gabi and Alfredo. ¿Cómo estás, Gabi?
Hi, Robert, and hi, everybody that's already joining the chat and starting the Chivas conversation. So happy to be back here. Yes, with exciting news because Chivas Femenil is again, that is no news. Everybody, we're used to this, right? Chivas Femenil is in another playoff stage in Liguilla, and they're facing Pumas again. So that's going to be a very interesting match and a lot of exciting information coming up also. And I'm just going to say this very, very, very quickly. This show is produced by Chivas. If you see right here, it says Chivas TV. We are official. And this is content in English for all our Chiva hermanos that live outside Mexico and speak mostly in English. But this is actually for everybody. And I'm going to say this in Spanish para toda la gente que se está empezando a conectar y que está preguntando qué está pasando aquí. Este contenido es producido, creado por Chivas. Si ven aquí dice Chivas TV, somos súper oficiales. Para todos nuestros Chiva hermanos y Chiva hermanas que viven fuera de México y que por alguna circunstancia de la vida hablan más en inglés que en español. El chiste es traerle absolutamente a todas las audiencias y a todos los chivermanos alrededor del mundo toda la información sobre nuestro rebaño. Así que, back to you, Robert. Oh, no, Alfredo, how are you, my friend?
Hi, Gabi. Hi, Robert. Hi, Chivermanos. Very excited to be here with you guys. Already vibing what will be the quarterfinals, the playoffs, the Liguilla of Chivas Femenil against Los Pumas. We have everything. We have some information on the first team. We have some information on Tapatio, the under 19 of Chivas as well. Plenty of information on Cantera Rojiblanca, but ready to focus mostly on what will be that quarterfinal round between Chivas Femenil and Pumas Femenil, because it is the 11th straight Liguilla for our Rojiblancas, 11th straight time that they make it to La Fiesta Grande del Fútbol Mexicano. We have plenty of Chivermanos in the chat. Big shout out to Jade Hernandez, who's watching us. Big shout out to Marilu, to Curtis Williams, to Alejandro Cruz Marquez, Emmanuel Saucedo, Oscar Gutiérrez, Melanie Campuzano, Ernesto del Villar, Clemente López, Abel Sáenz, El Guaje Martínez, José Juárez. Big shout outs to everyone who's watching us, both in the Chivas official channels as well as in the Telemundo social media networks. Very excited to be here with you guys for the next hour.
Yes, and don't forget, you can follow us and try to connect with WhatsApp, Telegram, YouTube. Don't forget, we're everywhere. We are everywhere. But first things first, my friends, we have to start off with a tradition. What is our tradition? We need to talk about this week's MVP. So you guys, who did you choose? Gabi, of course, tell us.
Thank you so much. So my pick for this week is nonetheless La Comandante Carolina Jaramillo. Once again, I think I had her as my weekly pick at least 3 times, maybe more. But yes, the regular season for Chivas Femenil is over officially, and we are officially in playoffs. And La Comandanta has another record under her belt. She has 11 assists in this regular season. She was very close of breaking her record of 14. Actually, the record overall, including playoffs, is 17. So fingers crossed, maybe that can still happen. But this is my weekly MVP pick, Caro Jaramillo, La Comandante, because she has been unstoppable in this record, I believe, since week 9 or something like that. Like she's been on the top of this assistance countdown like for a while now. So that is why she is officially my pick for this week.
Great pick.
There we go.
Great pick. Definitely, I'm going to tell you something funny. I was going to vote today for myself because, I'm competitive. I was like, I got to win. I got to win. And subconsciously, I poked Caro.
Oh, accidentally.
Oh,
Allegedly.
and you cannot reverse
No,
those.
I know. So
Yeah.
subconsciously, I did it, man. Es que la está rompiendo. She really has come back this season. It's wonderful to watch, and it's one of the reasons we are in the playoffs.
Yes.
And she's gonna break.
It's one of those players. It's one of those players that you need to watch and keep an eye on, like a very close eye on. Like she's very quiet and she's very like you can see in her eyes how she is thinking every single play she's going to make next. And I love that from her because like she's very strategic and very like in the game. And I love her. And
Yeah.
I mean, all the praise to her. Again, this is 11 assists and there could be more. So let's just keep an eye on that.
Yes, definitely. And she's fun to watch live because you see all
Yes.
the stuff she does without the ball. And I understand what you just said right now, Gabby. I agree totally. She's like a genius on the pitch. She is a genius. And Alfredo, who was your choice, my brother?
I chose Blanca Felix. The reason why I chose her is because Chivas Femenil arrived to 300 official matches in Liga MX Femenil after finishing off the regular season. It's been 300 appearances for Chivas Femenil in the league. And out of those matches, Blanca Felix is the player who has disputed the greatest amount of matches. She's the leader in all-time caps for Chivas Femenil. She has disputed 228 Liga MX matches for Chivas Femenil, which is pretty amazing if you take into consideration all of the Chivas Femenil history. She has only missed 72 matches, so a big chunk of this red and white early history has been written with Blanca Felix, a sign of consistency, of leadership, of captainship, and of course a fantastic goalkeeper who has been able to understand and comprehend the different moments that the institution has been going through, has always disposed herself to the service of the red and white. So that's why after the initial 300 matches of Liga MX Femenil, she's the player with the highest amount of matches, disputed with El Rebaño with 228.
Whoa, 228
Whoa.
complete matches. That's insane, man.
Yeah.
She was from the first, right?
Yeah,
She was, yes, of course. She was from the first season, first champion with Guadalajara. And she's come ups and downs. I saw her strong, very strong this season too. Celeste is back, which is great. But Blanca, knowing that she's under the tres palos, you understand that we're going to have a pretty good chance at going scoreless. And that kind of moves into what I have to say, which is Cassandra, right? Miss Cassandra Montero, because look at our defense, my friends. She is one of the baluartes, right? One of the columns of our backbone in the defense. She did so well. I know she's a midfielder, yeah, but she recoups very well. She's able to find the right pass, and mostly she's looking for your choice, Gabby, right? She's always looking for the person who's going to be able to hand out, what did she say? Hand out the cheese in
Spread
the right
the
way.
cheese.
Spread the cheese.
Yes.
Spread the cheese.
Oh, this
And
is
so the three of them, I think, were very important for where we are right now. And I want to point out someone in the chat. I know we're going to do that real quick, but someone from Spain is following us.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, because he's talking about El Profe. Okay, and he is a fan of El Profe. Let me see where
Saludos desde España, siguiendo al profe. Oh my God. Hi, Guaje.
Joaquin
Why?
Martinez. Thank you so much for following us from Spain. And yes, among those three, obviously, I was going to say Profe Contreras was going to be one of my choices. But then I thought that would be like kind of too, demagogic. So I went with Cassandra because I love her. I love my defensive midfielder. She and also are my favorites, man. I love it. I love it. And you know why? Because they like to give more than receive. They like to give. You understand?
I love her too. She's so versatile. Like
Yes.
as you were saying, she's a midfielder. She can go all the way up. She can defend. She can recoup every single ball. She's so strong, like physically. And again, we're talking about experience, right? Like we've given the proper praise to our young players, but also like, I mean, Blanca
Yeah.
Felix, none other than the goalkeeper of the Mexican national team, Cassandra Montero, Caro Jaramillo, like elite players, if you ask me. So yes, go to X, formerly known as Twitter, and go vote. You can look for the Chivas in English account, and the poll is active right now. It's going to be until a couple of minutes before wrapping up this show, so you can give the vote to the player of your choice.
Yeah, so go out there and
Totally.
vote. That's the way of showing your Chiva Chiva vibe. Yeah, don't forget, we want to know what you're saying. And we could see people already up on the chat. No, we're not going to talk much about Varonil, but we have to. We have to kind of give closure to all of that. So let's move on. Don't forget, guys, vote for your MVP.
Vote for the vote Caro Jaramillo.
Vote for it.
I voted Caro Jaramillo.
Vote Blanca.
Yeah, go vote for her, man. She's the greatest. But the three of them, man, are my faves. Isn't that a great example of a perfect combination of youth and, well, let's say, I don't like to say, let's say knowledge. Let's say youth, young,
Yes,
lack of knowledge,
experience.
and older, right? Yes, experience. Because those three, without those three, including, we haven't mentioned a forward, though. It would have been great to have mentioned, Boyi or Licha, because, guys, they have been doing wonders this season. We've been so caught up with all of the roller coaster that is Chivas Varonil that we sometimes don't really take a good look at what's going on with Femenil. And as we are being reminded from Spain by El Guaje, Chivas Femenil has had a great season this year. And talk about Vidi, don't forget Vidi, yes. Of course, she's had a great season. All these players who we're going to be speaking about shortly. And don't forget, Chivas Femenil, first champions of the pink circuit. And I'm sure they're going to do it again this season. But let's move on, people. Let's talk about Varonil. Let's get it out of the way.
Do we have to?
I don't wanna.
We have
man.
logistics.
Yeah, we have to. It's in the
We have,
logistics. Thank you.
yeah, we have
Excuse me.
we have pretty much what's next for the team. Let's say that the Apertura 2025 it's still far down the road. Its kickoff will not be until July. Remember that since it's the second semester, we're also disputing League's Cup. So we have that. We're in the same group as Charlotte FC and the New York Red Bulls. So we will have a busy beginning of the second semester. The guys will not return to Verde Valle until the 21st of May, where they will go medical and physical exams as they usually do. And then they will kick off a preseason. The place and the dates are yet to be defined. However, we will be working towards what will be the kickoff of Apertura 2025 as well as the League's Cup. Scheduled Apertura 2025 kickoff for July and League's Cup for August. And we will have over a month to prepare for that.
And hopefully,
If you'd like to know, yeah, also, of course, if you didn't notice it, Gerardo Espinosa will no longer continue as the head coach of El Rebaño. We thank him for coming into the ship on a tough moment. Of course, we're grateful with Gerardo. With he stood up for Chivas on a tough moment. And if you'd like to know further detail of what's going on, I invite you to take a look at the press conference given by Javier Mier, our sporting director, earlier this week. You can find it right here in the Chivas YouTube channel. Under the live section, you will find Javier Mier's press conference. It was about 20 minutes, and stick to it if you'd like to know further information on how everything will advance.
So let's talk about this like now, gritty, guys. All right. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Horrible season. Yeah, that's not an opinion, it's something. But if you really look at it, we were in the mid part of the standings almost all season, you know? We were at the mid part. We couldn't get that stretch. I was quite disappointed, really, about this last match. I thought we were going to be able to make it into the play-in. I think everybody was thinking about us making it into the play-in, but we just mentioned when we were talking before that there was a spark missing from the game. What do you guys think about that, Gabi? Alfredo, was there a spark missing from this match? What happened? What was going on in the minds of our players and all of the Chiva fan base on Saturday?
Alfredo, you want to go first?
Yeah, I think so. I had the vibe that we were, we were not really, the atmosphere in general was not an optimistic one. I think that there was somewhat this sense over the air that if we go through, many people thought that we were gonna lose in the plane. So I think that there was no a big optimism of going through Liguilla. It was like there was this sense that either if we would have gone through, we could have maybe lost in the early playoffs rounds. So I think that the team, not the team, but just the general atmosphere was more looking into what will be next tournament. And you know what? I just feel that a lot of the fan base kind of gave up before playing the match. We also depended on the Pumas Tigres game, so a lot of people were not fully focused on El Clásico Tapatio as they usually would. It was just a weirder atmosphere overall.
The stadium wasn't full, as we can see from the images. So that in itself is already abnormal for a Clásico.
For a Clásico Tapatio, yes, exactly.
So, Gabi?
Yeah, well, I mean, we were talking about this. We were talking about this backstage, and I don't want to get too emotional. But as we've said before, I mean, and I don't say this because we're blessed enough to work for the team, but first and foremost, we're fans. Myself, and I'm going to talk about myself. Like, I am a hardcore Chiva fan since I can remember. And it's it hurts me. It's painful. It's like physically painful, And talking about what you were asking earlier, like, is a spark missing? I do think that something is happening inside, because we can talk about the quality of our players. And we've been talking also about this because we are in this somos puros mexicanos, and our options are limited just by that. But nonetheless, we have huge talent inside Chivas, huge. And we've talked about Cantera Rojiblanca and all the players that come. That is not debatable, at least for me. So what's happening, right? And for me, like, something could be happening behind the scenes. We don't know. Of course, a lot has to do, and of course, it definitely has to do with all the coaching situations and all the changes that happen in a very high or a higher level. But it's painful to see the greatest team in Mexico, and I'm not going to debate this with anybody, so don't come for me in the chat, people. The greatest team in Mexico, that this is completely unacceptable. Like, we should be in the first places every single season. regardless, I don't care. Like puros mexicanos, no Mexicanos. It is what it is. Chivas is Chivas because of their history, their legacy, and everything that is inside this crest and inside this everything that Chivas represents, right? So I'm going. Maybe this is a very emotional opinion from me, but it's very hard and frustrating for me, and as we've been talking a lot in the last shows, every single time we talk about a tie or a defeat or a barely a win, right? Like we're like, oh, but we're so close. Like we have so many chances. Like we have so many opportunities. Like we have the forwards, we have the midfield, we have the defense. Blah 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 blah. But mistakes keep happening. So what needs to happen? That is like the next question. What needs to happen? We have the young players, the promises. We have Mateo, we have Gamberos, we have Wilke, we have El Dragon, we have Miguel Gomez. Like we have the talent. What's missing? And again, probably I'm talking from a very emotional POV, probably. But it's like I don't never, and I'm not. I would never lose hope. In every single game, I would be like, yes, we're going to slay this game. Yes, we're going to be in play-ins. Yeah, we're going to be. And reality comes, and it's hard. It's hard. It's sad. So, what needs to happen? So, we already heard, as Alfredo was saying, you can go watch the press conference from Mier. Gerardo Espinosa is no longer in the team. So, this search and this process needs to start all over again. So this is kind of frustrating, but it's not, because I have hope in my team. I believe in my team. I believe in my players. But at the same time, it's like, oh my God, like it's so many inconsistencies. What needs to happen? What needs to
There
happen?
needs to be some sort of leadership.
Yeah,
And you just mentioned, Alfredo, about what Mier said. Can you remember any of the specific details of his plan? What's going on?
yeah. So we gotta first of all give the context of the situation. Remember that he arrived halfway through this season, so he hasn't had let's say a transfer window to plan. He will have it right now, his first one. He's someone who knows the club, who has been around. Remember that the let's say the Spanish guys that were in the club left. They arrived at the end of 2022. They were here for 2.5 years. So that management, that sporting management, changed halfway through the season. So it's a big change that Chivas underwent halfway through the season. It's going to be the first transfer window that they will undergo. An important context to give all the Chivermanos. He spoke about the Dirección Deportiva assuming the responsibility of what happens in the club. He said that his responsibility is to seek different scenarios where the team can achieve better preparation. He says that he will decide amongst different profiles of coaches to see who will take command of the bench. He says that he has the support of the presidency and he knows the club, as we were establishing earlier. He says that the basis of the club have been well established. I think that there he is making a reference to the cantera, which of course, as Gabby was saying, there is a lot of talent there. He says that he will look for a manager who understands the identity of the club that we represent. He spoke about El Chicharito, about his leadership, about how important he is for the team from a spiritual point of view. He spoke about the three bases that he will work with towards the future. For example, the strengthening of our players, formed in Cantera Rojiblanca, and as well as the strengthening of the sporting direction to get the best talent that there could be. He spoke about extending well, he didn't say it with those wordings, but let's say extending the bond young assets such as Hugo Camberos and Mateo Chavez. So he pretty much gave a fresh start towards what will be Apertura 2025 onwards.
Yes, he was very, very clear. I like that he was clear on what his expectations were, and I really like that he talked about the mental preparation that a person that comes to Chivas must have, that they need to have. I'm going to put you guys on the spot, okay? If you could put in a bucket list a coach for Chivas,
Oh my God, no.
and anyone in the world, guys, okay, in the world, let's just be fun. Let's have fun. Let's
Are you
have
serious?
fun, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Yes, let's have fun, man. If you could bring a coach, but it has to be based on like what kind of your question, guy? What do we need? We have the players. We need a leader. We need a teacher, right? So who would it be for you? Producción, you too, man. Who would you bring? Ancelotti. He's gonna say Ancelotti. He's gonna say Ancelotti.
Who?
To Producción, he loves look at right. So one more thing, and let's get on to the next topic. Vámonos. So what do you think?
Oh my
Who
God.
would you bring?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. However, production says
I
Carlo
told you, man. He
Ancelotti.
was gonna go crazy.
I would,
But someone
yeah,
with
I
experience,
would
no?
say
Someone with experience.
I'm going. Oh my God.
someone with
Can
attractive
we
football.
bring Mikel Arteta?
I was going to say, we had his
No.
version of him in El
Oh,
Ojitos
can you
Mesa.
imagine? Can you imagine Pep Guardiola? Quique
Oof.
Noriega is going to freak out.
If he came back to Mexico, it would be interesting. I don't think he would, though,
I don't-
unless, he's working on himself. El Pastor, Marilu says, Pastor. Matias Almeida, there's not even a debate. Jurgen Klopp, Curtis Williams. Yeah, man, I like that.
Interesting.
Yes, organized, defensively, always looking forward. We need that kind of DT, man. We need that kind of DT, my friends. But hey, demos cierre.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about Varonil.
No.
Good luck. They're coming back at the end of May, hopefully with their batteries recharged and ready to represent us as all the Chivisa and the Chiva universe expects from them. So, hey, man, all y'all, we expect much from them. So, yes, Varonil, have fun. Todos se relajen. Have fun.
And as always,
You know,
be sure to follow all the official social media accounts so you can stay informed for the latest information, official information regarding Chivas Femenil Tapatio. But don't listen to rumors and, like Robert says, smoke. Like we are.
and there will be a lot in the off season. Remember, there will be a playoff, but people are more interested on whatever happens with Chivas than in whatever happens in Liguilla.
Right.
So they will try to print a lot on Chivas.
Definitely so. Don't forget. Let's take a look at the chat, Alfredo, real quick before we go to Femenil and nuestras chingonas. Anything come out at you?
So yeah, we have I think a lot of new people who are arriving. Welcome everyone. This is We Go To, usually on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Central Mexican Time. We have Brandon Lopez, we have Mark Velasquez, we have Abel Rodriguez, we have Alberto Zapata, Giancarlos, David Garcia, Alejandro Rodriguez, Miguel Capistran, John Rosas, who is turning 36 today. Happy birthday. We have David Garcia, Marilu, Curtis, and plenty of Chivermanos who are in the house. Welcome, everyone. We'll proceed to speak about Chivas Femenil and that first leg quarterfinal that they're playing tomorrow against Pumas, right, guys?
That's right. And let's turn this over to Gabi. Gabi, it's your time to shine, my friend. Tell us what's going on with Chivas Femenil.
Of course. So yes, exciting news, better news, brighter news. Of course, Chivas Femenil is in playoffs again. For the 11th time consecutively, we are in another playoff stage, and we just played with Pumas in the final week and on week 17 of the regular season. and we're facing them again for the first round of playoffs, quarterfinals. And it's going to be a very interesting match. So if you watched the last game, it was very good. So just to give a little bit of context, Chivas closed the regular season in the sixth position with 30 points. This is not bad. And we've been talking about this in previous shows. Chivas Femenil had already a secured spot in the playoff stage. We were aiming to get to the fourth position. Unfortunately, a combination of results and whatnot didn't make it happen. We lost against Pachuca. Tigres, like it was kind of a bit confusing, but at the end of the day, we snatched the sixth place with 30 points. It's also important to mention that for the 11th time, also, Chivas has been scoring 30 or more points in every single season. So, again, very remarkable numbers. And to give a little bit of extra context about who we are facing in the quarterfinals, Pumas Femenil, we have to give them the proper recognition because they are closing, well, they closed in the regular season their best season ever since the start of the pink circuit, and they're currently in the third position actually with 37 points. So it's not going to be an easy match. The two matches actually, they're not going to be easy. They're going to fight because this is kind of, I don't want to say unusual, but it's the first time that Pumas Femenil has like this incredible season overall. So they're very hyped, they're pumped. So they're going to come with everything. And remember the first leg, because Chivas Femenil ended in the sixth position. The first leg is going to be at home in Estadio Akron, and the second, and actually the first game is tomorrow. We're going to give you details a little bit later. And the second leg is going to be on Sunday in Ciudad Universitaria. So exciting, one game at a time, one stage at a time. Right now it's quarterfinals and we are excited. We are in very high spirits for our chingonas once again because they are in a very important position right now to fight for another title. But I want to listen to you guys and of course everybody in the chat because I was reading a lot of expectation about Chivas Femenil. Curtis Williams, hi Curtis. I'm totally psyched about tomorrow night. Ladies will be, oh, I'm sorry. The ladies will be ready to score and win 3-0 thanks to La Doctora and company. Awesome, Curtis. Thank you so much. I know you are always watching our Chingonas every single game. I don't know, guys. Actually, I don't trust Chivas Femenil's coach. Do you? I do. Why do you? Why? Okay, interesting. Mm-hmm. Why you don't trust El Profe Contreras? I think he's done a very good job. Yeah, and you can see it, like the dynamic about with him and the team. I think is good. I think is good. So these are images from the last game against Pumas. So remember, also another fun fact. This game was played in El Estadio Akron, and the first leg of the quarterfinals are going to be played in Estadio Akron. And Chivas Femenil is undefeated at home. So we hope this record remains and we can secure this stage in Seoul next Sunday. What do you guys think?
I think we're going to romperla again. Remember what we were talking about why I chose Cass is that defensively speaking, we've only accepted 10 goals in the season.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that with that number, just statistically speaking, stats are not, my favorite way to go. But statistically speaking, the team is strong defensively. Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to win. I don't know if 3-0 because I love you, Curtis, man. But the truth is the last match against Pumas was very tight, man. It was really, really, really tight. I think it could have gone either way. Mm-hmm. Either way, the truth. I don't know. What about you, Alfredo? What do you think? What do you think we're gonna see?
So it's gonna be tough. Yeah, but I'm confident on the farther experience that Chivas has on these sort of matches. I think that the girls, they're confident. They rely on being the best defense of the tournament. For let's say we might be hoping or expecting a series with few goals, Remember that since we finished sixth on the regular season and Pumas finished third, they have that advantage of in case of tying, they will go through due to a better regular season standing. That's why I believe that the Profe Contreras is gonna place a big focus on not conceding goals, and throughout the 180 minutes, either at the Akron and Ciudad Universitaria, there's more than enough time, and we've got more than enough talent up front to make things happen. But I think that we're going to give a huge emphasis to not conceding goals. Because remember, we need to score more goals than Pumas in order to go through.
I agree. You know what I just noticed was that El Profe had many of his big guns on the bench during that game. And then he brought them on
Right.
in the second half, no? You think
Yeah,
that might have been a ploy? Maybe he was trying to trick the Pumas coach? I don't know. I don't know.
Why
Maybe
not?
not. I don't know. I'm just saying because when I see Caro, when
Why
I
not?
see, all of the big names on the bench, it could be. It could be. So I don't know what would it be like to
Yeah.
have them 90 minutes on the pitch. I had not noticed that. I had not thought about that one.
I think it's going to be different this time. I think
Yes.
it's going to be like it's not the same if you play against directly with the team that is way above you. So I think this time, El Profe Contreras knows exactly what they're dealing with. So I don't know if it was strategy. I don't know what it was. It was a weird lineup last game. I agree, but I think it's going to have adjustments and it's going to be what it needs to be done because Pumas is also going to come and play their best game to try to secure the win at home. So that is why I just going back a little bit. That is why we were talking about aiming to get the fourth spot so we can get the second legs at home. But it is what it is. The rest is history. So we need to focus right now on the game that is going to be played tomorrow. Secure as much as we can that win at home so we can have a little bit of better leverage in Seoul.
Totally. Yeah, that would be important. Win tomorrow, go to Seoul and play. With the anxiety of the opponent. There's usually a lot of Chivermanos in Seoul. I think that also the stadium is gonna be, Estadio Akron tomorrow. It's gonna show a higher entry than what it did the other day. Which I'm not saying that there were. We can see that there were a lot of Chivermanos against Pumas the other day, but I think there's going to be even more tomorrow. So I'm confident that along with the big emphasis that we might be giving to the defensive work tomorrow, I'm confident that we're going to pull
I
it
hope
off.
so. And
Me
also,
too.
just to mention, just additional context, Seoul at noon on Sunday. Oh my
Crazy.
God. Oh my goodness. It's going to be a tough one. I've been in games exactly of Chivas Femenil and Pumas Femenil at noon in Seoul, and they are hard. So that is going to be just, if you are going to Seoul, bring sunscreen, please.
Another reason why we need to win
Yes.
tomorrow night, man. I mean, that's I think that's the whole thing right there. If we're able to pull that off with a convincing score, then we'll be fine. Does this have away goals and the Liguilla this season? Does the away goal count? Alfredo, I don't know if you have that.
No,
No.
no, it doesn't. The way of untying it is the plays on the regular
Okay.
season
All right.
standing.
All right. Yeah, man. I love it. We were just jumping ahead, but the fourth deconstruction asks us to talk about the lineup. I guess that's a great point. What's going to be the possible lineup, my friends? Who's Chivas starting 11?
Okay, so who is going to be our goalie, Celeste or Blanca?
Híjole, Blanca.
I think that Blanca will be playing tomorrow.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, man.
I
She's
agree.
all of the experience. I think Celeste would do great as well, but it's Blanca Felix, please. Like the same reasons you gave Alfredo for choosing her as MVP
Mm-hmm.
is Blanca, por favor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And defensive?
Then I see Damaris that has
Of
been
course.
having an incredible season also. I also see Araceli Torres, my Cheli querida. I see Cassandra Montero, probably. Can we see her up there? Robert?
I
Robert?
did not see her play. She didn't play the last game.
She didn't play
Uh,
up there.
no, no.
Jackie
So,
Rodriguez for sure.
Jaco.
Jaco.
Yeah.
Who else?
I'm not
Going to
sure
be
who
four?
else would
Is
play
going to be four
Central.
up there?
I would definitely leave Cass as a defensive midfielder, personally,
Okay.
because that's what she's been doing very
I
well
can
now.
see that. I can see that.
Yeah. And your midfield?
Alfredo?
¿A quién
Pendeja.
pones?
So I think
¿Quién
that
pones?
well, I think Dani Delgado she has been playing there over the last few tournaments, along with Cassandra and Jamile Franco. And up front, let's say I wouldn't be surprised if they placed, for example, Licha in that role behind Carolina Jaramillo behind Licha in that, let's say, kind of a diamond with Cassandra, with Daniela Delgado and Jamile Franco opened up, let's say, more towards the wings, and Jaramillo at the
Viri?
center.
I forgot a defender that also has been having an incredible season. Isabela Esquivias.
Yeah, she even went to the under 23. Was
Yeah,
it?
under
Yeah, under
23.
23 national. Yes.
And you were saying Caro and Dani Delgado, and then Icha.
Yes.
Or-
No. Caro and no, I mean Dani Delgado and Jamile Franco, and then Caro.
Okay. Your forwards.
Yeah. Licha and
Licha and
Viridiana.
Viri. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Curtis, you were saying that La Doctora del Gol was going to score the 3 goals. So she's
All
coming.
three of them, Curtis?
I don't know. He is a huge Doctora believer. So
He is definitely. Nobody else in the chat has put anything.
yeah, Marilu says Choco,
Choco.
Jocelyn de la Rosa has to be on the lineup. I agree.
Okay. Who would you remove then?
Choco de la Rosa. Interesting.
Who should not? Who would you remove? There's so many players now.
There's a lot of
Yes, the
options,
balance that Contreras has found with them is just going to be what finds it. That's what I just keep thinking about. Why didn't he put the first team on the pitch? Sneaky. I think he's being sneaky because he knew he was in already.
He was testing the waters. He was like, okay, bring it on. Let's see what we can do.
Right. Because, for example, you also have Gaby Valenzuela, who could play up front along with Licha, but she could also play, let's say, on the wings, like, as a midfielder, and she's fast. You could use her, to win those races on the wings, create superiority in that way. And there's so many options. You could even play with Dani Delgado on the position that Cassandra plays, as the CTM, and play with someone else more towards the wing. So there's plenty of options, and it's gonna be, the game at the Akron and the game at Seoul are two completely different matches.
And we were saying that so many options on the bench. I just Yvonne Gonzalez just came to my mind, and she's also doing incredible. Dana Sandoval, like, you have so many options. You have like a starting in the bench, on the bench, and on the pitch. Like, you can move those pieces perfectly. So yeah. So why don't you trust El Profe Contreras? Who said that?
Respond. Cuarta de
I'm
formación.
curious because
I trust him. It's his first tournament. He didn't have an easy job. Let's be real. He didn't have an easy job, both from a footballing point of view and from a, let's say, a group point of view. And he has carried out the job. It's his first tournament, as we were saying, so we believe that this is just the beginning of his era.
Yes, he's just getting
And
used to the team, no? Getting used to working. And I think Chivas Femenil has followed that format that we've been talking about. You could see the structure in all of the lines. No, all of the teams that have been working the under 14s, the under 19s, the under 23s. You could see that formation, and Contreras has found it. He fit in perfectly. He's like a prophet. I look at him; he's a prophet.
Mm-hmm.
Since let's say that since Juan Pablo Alfaro left, he's the guy that has better fitted with the squad. Spinelli and the guy that came after him, they didn't really click with the squad, I would say, or with the club, with the institution. But I think that El Profe Contreras, he knows where he's at. He has understood the players. He has made, for example, Carolina Jaramillo. She's again at the top assist list of this tournament. She gave defensive solidarity to this team, only conceding 10 goals, the best defense of the tournament, the second best record of Chivas Femenil all time. So, he has managed to get a solid performance not only from the collective group overall, but also from individual players. You had Damaris playing at the top of her shape. You had Araceli Torres playing at the top of her shape, even scoring goals. Chelly is a player that she had only scored 2 goals before this tournament, and then she goes on and scored 2 goals in 3 matches. So it's she has also the rotation that let's say that it's always delicate to undergo that rotation between Celeste and Blanca. He has always managed to do it positively. He has sent players to the national team, so I think that we gotta give him the vote of confidence, regardless of what happens against Pumas or later. Hopefully later, because hopefully we go through.
I think we're going to go through, but it's really hard, man. It's really hard. It's really hard. So let's talk about it. Gabi, where can we watch the match?
Where can we watch the first leg of the quarterfinals of Liga MX playoffs? So Chivas Femenil against Pumas Femenil. Remember, Chivas is undefeated in el Estadio Akron. Tomorrow, Thursday, April 24th. In Mexico, you can watch through Fox Sports and a través de la señal más rojiblanca de Chivas TV at 7:05 p.m. Mexico time. If you are in a different time zone, you know what to do. And if you are in the USA, please watch through La Casa de las Chivas en los Estados Unidos, Telemundo Deportes. And also, because we're in the mood, we're in this vibe, we can also tell you where to watch the second leg. So Pumas Femenil against Chivas Femenil. Remember, this is going to be a tough match because in the Ciudad Universitaria, there's not a single shade spot in that stadium. Anyway, bring sunscreen if you're going. Saturday, no, it's Sunday. I think
but
there's
the smog.
There's
the smog blocks the sun.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Don't
Sunday.
speak ill of my city, Roberto Amorelli. And it's Sunday. It's Sunday, April 27th. And on Mexico, you can watch. I don't have my glasses on, but you can watch on Canal 9, VIX. I don't know what the first thing
Food
says.
Fem.
Food Fem donde sea.
Fem donde sea. I don't have my glasses. So this
wherever you are.
It's going to be at 12 p.m. Mexico time. At noon, it's going to be, oh my goodness, it's going to be hard. It's going to be tough, but it's going to be a good match. And I'm pretty sure Chivas is snatching this first quarterfinal stage. So there you go.
That's it. We're going to win in both matches. If Caro uses a lot of place block, even when it's a night match, imagine what's going to happen on Sunday. She's going to be like, spraying it all over herself.
Ghost face.
Ghost face. They're going to win, man. I think Let's put
Yeah.
what's going to be the score?
I'm confident.
Let's not talk about that. Let's not put numbers. Let's talk about other stuff. And, well, my friends, as we had to give closure to Varonil, we need to give closure to Tapatio. Alfredo, tell us what happened to Tapatio. From what we last talked about, there were still an opportunity to get into Liguilla. So what happened, my brother?
Right. So unfortunately, El Tapatio didn't make it. They lost 1-0 against Celaya after a combination of results in the last match day. El Tapatio finished 10th with 19 points. However, they didn't manage to go through Liguilla, even though they had besides that last match against Celaya, they did have a good end towards the season. Remember that after winning the championship last tournament, the guys didn't have a good start of the season. The ending was stronger. However, unfortunately, it was not enough. It was from that championship squad of Apertura 2024. We have there's 4 important players that were no longer with El Tapatio because they went on towards the first team. We're speaking about Hugo Camberos, Miguel Gomez, Eduardo Garcia, and Teun Vilke. However, and this is a big however, the team did not have not left on break. They have not left on vacation. They're still practicing in Guadalajara, and the reason for that is because they're getting prepped for El Campeón de Campeones, who, remember, it's the champion of the Apertura against the champion of the Clausura. Remember that El Tapatio won the Apertura tournament, so we will be one of the 2 teams playing the Campeón de Campeones against whoever becomes the champion of Clausura 2025. There's the expectation that some friendly matches will take place before that big fixture, because of course we want the Campeón de Campeones.
Of course, it's another trophy. One of the many that we've had. And this has been such a crazy season, man. Crazy couple of years. Ups and downs, topsy-turvy, but Tapatio cerró bien, It's just that they did not have enough time, to make up for all of those lost points in the beginning. That's why it's important that our teams make the points at the beginning. I always tell my students,
right,
get the good points at the beginning. And then the last trimester, you could kick back and vacation a little bit. And Alfredo, before we move on, remember, we have to talk about Sub-19. What happened to our Sub-19?
Yes. So we have good news on both the under-19 squads, both Varonil and Femenil. Let's kick it off with Varonil. The under-19 guys, they are in Liguilla of Clausura 2025, and they will play against Pachuca in the quarterfinals. The guys finished off the regular season on the 5th place, and they will play against Los Tuzos, first match in Verde Valle, second match in Pachuca. From a defensive point of view, the under-19 had an extraordinary performance, as the team only conceded 8 goals in 17 matches, which is pretty amazing. It's less than 0.5 goals per match, less than 1 goal every 2 matches. Solid performance by the under-19 on a defensive point of view, specifically, of course. And the first leg of this quarterfinal against Tuzos is actually taking place tomorrow in Gigantera. I'm sorry, I said Verde Valle earlier. It's gonna be taking place in Gigantera tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central Mexican time. Stay tuned to the Cantera Rojiblanca Twitter account for everything you need to know on tomorrow's match, the first leg of the quarterfinals for the under-19. The second leg will be taking place on Sunday at 10 a.m. Central Mexican time at La Universidad del Fútbol. And that's pretty much it. Let's all the best for the under-19. Let's hope that we make it to the semifinals, because there's more than enough quality in that squad to overcome Pachuca and place ourselves amongst the top four teams, amongst the four semifinalists of this tournament. Unfortunately, the under 23 didn't make it, and then we're speaking about the under 14. The under 14 finished off the group phase of El Torneo Primavera in the first place with 7 points, 2 wins and 2 ties. And then moving on to Femenil, Cantera Rojiblanca Femenil, the under 19 of the girls, they're still with a firm pace as they defeated Santos by 1-0 on the road, and they're in the second place of their group with 31 points. So all the best for the guys under 19
Canteras.
in their quarterfinal round against Pachuca. All the best for the girls under 19. Keep it strong, and all the best to our Chivermanitos, the under 19, the under 14 Chivas guys who are having also a solid
Yes,
performance.
and don't forget, we can watch it on Chivas TV.
La
The
señal.
match will be
Yes.
tomorrow on Chivas TV.
There we go.
I think that's a first
There we
as
go.
well.
Wow, yeah. Oh,
A
totally.
first for these under
Totally.
19, and you will be able to watch them live. And check them out at La Gigantera. These are the guys that will be coming up soon, my friends. The time has come for
time
us to
has
move
come.
on. And hopefully, before we do, let's put out that Chiva vibe, because Chivas Femenil is going to win. Sub-19, everybody's going to get out there and kick some ass. So let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
MVP time. MVP time. Let's see what's up. And don't forget, my friends, don't forget that when you vote, you need to tell us, who did you vote for, man? Who was out there?
Tell us
Who
in the
did you
chat.
vote for? Tell us in the chat. You know, don't be scared. I already said it. I already told you that I don't use my glasses when I look at X. And I press whatever button is open. And I voted for Caro Jaramillo. Who did you vote for, Gabi?
I vote for Caro Jaramillo, of course.
And who did you vote for, Alfredo?
Of course, Blanca
Who did
Felix.
I vote for?
Caro Jaramillo.
Caro Jaramillo too. Anyway, guys, don't forget, interact there on X. Don't forget, we want to know what you're thinking, man. That's a great place for all of you guys to
Tell us
express
in the
yourselves.
chat.
Yeah. And tell us in the chat, who did you vote for?
Who did
Who
you
did
vote?
you vote for? And meanwhile, let's get that drum roll rolling. Where's that drum roll?
Is
There
this
it
my
is.
week?
It is your second week in a row. No, third, I'm guessing.
No, last
No?
week was not my week.
No,
Oh,
Who was it? We were tied?
what? Oh,
Oh man,
Oh,
you said that. That's what is that?
I was like,
What is that? I
Was
thought we had tied. I was like,
tied?
oh, interesting.
so, la
Democracy.
consentida. La
Gaby.
consentida de la gente, la
Eh,
comandante, Carolina Jaramillo. Yes, and again, she has 11 assists in the regular season. She was super close of breaking her own record of 14 on the regular season, but overall, including Liguilla, including Liguilla, it's 17 actually, including playoffs. So she can still be able, because of course Chivas Femenil is going to go all the way up to the finals. So that's at least 8 more games. So she's going to be able to break that record of 17 assists. That will be amazing.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody that voted in the poll that it's active. Well, it's not active right now on Twitter. I'm sorry, X, formerly known as Twitter. So everybody in the chat, Marilu said that she voted for Blanca. Javier voted for Caro Jaramillo. And yeah, tell us please, who was your choice and who do you vote? Remember that we do this every single week before the show starts, so you can go and place your vote on X for the weekly MVP pick. So, yay!
And just say who it is that you chose.
Yes.
Definitely do it and interact with us, my friends. There will be more ways for you to interact with us next season, hopefully. And don't forget, got to send out that Chiva vibe, my friends. Let us all hope for the best, but always prepare for the worst.
Oh, where is it? Oh.
Yeah. hopefully we're here next Wednesday previewing a Chivas Femenil semifinal.
Oh my
We
God.
will. I have to think the positivity has to be that focus. If you see it, it will happen.
Let's manifest it together, Chiva Hermanos and Chiva.
Exactly, everybody.
Yes.
Like
And
that guy in the
follow,
meme.
remember to follow Chivas on all the social media platforms so you can stay informed, everybody. And follow us on our personal accounts, please, because Alfredo will get mad if you don't follow him. So
yeah, Red and White Fred
please
on X. That's me.
If you want to follow me.
Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Here we are.
All right, my friends, let's get the heck out of here. Chivas Femenil tomorrow, 7 p.m. at the Akron. Ganamos todos. I'll see you guys later. Be well. Dan Ross, happy birthday. 36 years he put.
El Santuario Rojiblanco nos llama. Adquiere o renueva tu Chivabono y obtén grandes beneficios exclusivos. Disfruta en familia y con los amigos la experiencia de vivir todos los partidos de fase regular de Chivas Varonil y Femenil. En el Estadio Akron, consulta más beneficios y adquiere tu Chivabono en el Estadio Akron y en boletomóvil.com.